it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.
By extension, Africa battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on Ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays, and let's all have our say.
The federal government has said Nigeria could earn as much as 3 trillion naira simply by patronizing locally made goods. This projection comes under the Nigeria First policy, which prioritizes homegrown products in government procurement and aims to boost domestic industries. But beyond the numbers, the question remains, can policy really change consumer behavior? And can Nigerian producers rise to the challenge? It's another episode on your favorite Primetime show Ways. My name is Chioma Kalu, and tonight our conversation centers on Nigeria First policy. Can consumers trust local brands to deliver quality? Remember, Ways is all about you, as you are the why in Ways. So be a part of the conversation every single day and add your voice to the discussions. Head on now to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, and invite your friends to join the show now. When I open the phone lines, I would really want to hear your take on this topic. And as always, please ponder on the quote for the day. It says, it will be commendable to see the president driving a vehicle made and assembled in Nigeria. And this was said by Segun Ajayi Kadir, the DG of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Now, we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, I'll let you in on my news interest for the day. Stay with me. You're welcome back. You're still watching Ways, and right now I'm going to take you through my news interest for the day. And the first one says, ASU Unimaid rejects renaming of varsity after ex-President Buhari. Now, the news says the University of Maiduguri Unimaid, chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, has opposed the federal government's decision to rename the institution after the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The union, through its Unimaid chairman, Dr. Abubakar Mishelia Saidu, told reporters in Maiduguri after a Congress meeting that the government's action was provocative, unacceptable, and deeply offensive to the values of academic freedom, institutional integrity, and democratic governance. According to Dr. Saidu, the move is a blatant disregard for university autonomy and academic freedom. He argued that the name University of Maiduguri is not just a label, but an identity rooted in decades of scholarship, sacrifice and service to the Northeast and Nigeria at large. I mean, if you followed the news when the ex-president died, you know, this was one of the things the government did, you know, in remembrance of him. They named the University of Maiduguri after him. But now, the ASU chapter of Maiduguri, UNIMAID, they're saying, no, you can't, you don't have the jurisdiction to do that. You can't do that because, like they said, this name is not just an identity picked up from the road or maybe a label that they just hung on it. It signifies decades of scholarship, sacrifice, service to the Northeast. It's a means of, they're owning their identity now, saying, I mean, if you rename this thing, what benefit would it be to them as an institution? So, yeah, that's it. So the second news I have says NIMET predicts flood in Lagos, Kogi, Niger, and 5 other states this week. The news says the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted floods in 8 states between today and Saturday. The states that are likely to experience floods, according to the weatherman, are Niger, Kogi, Benue, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Cross River, and Ebonyi. NIMET's weather outlook issued yesterday reads, on Thursday in northern region, there are prospects of thunderstorms with moderate rains over parts of Borno, Yobe, Gombe, Bauchi, Adamawa, and Taraba states during the morning hours. And during the afternoon to evening hours, thunderstorms with moderate rains are expected over most parts of Gombe, Bauchi, Jigawa, Taraba, Kaduna, Adamawa, Yobe, and Borno states. It also added that there is high possibility of flood occurring in parts of Ogun, Ondo, Lagos, Cross River, and Ebonyi during the forecast period. I mean, do with this information whatever you can, because the issue of flood is one we have flogged and overflogged on this show. So moving on to our third story. This story actually happened yesterday, but I love it, and that's why it made it to my list this evening. And it says, Uzodinma, that is the governor of Imo State, raises minimum wage to 104,000 naira for Imo State workers. The news reads, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has increased the minimum wage for the state's civil servants from 70,000 naira to 104,000. Now, the governor announced the new minimum wage on Tuesday night at a meeting with organized labor at the government house in Owerri, the state capital. This shows an additional 34,000 naira. Uzodinma also raised the wages for the state health workers, pegging the entry-level salary for medical doctors at 508,000 naira, while senior positions in the same cadre will earn up to 1.2 million naira. Interesting. Other health workers, the governor said, would start at 108,000 naira, with top earners receiving as much as 803,000 naira, an upward review from the previous 77,600 to 502,000 naira range. For lecturers, he said the new entry point will be 222,000 naira. Uzodinma directed the immediate release of 16 billion to clear outstanding pension and gratuity arrears for senior citizens. The next phase of the payment will commence tomorrow. I think I'm particularly gladdened by this news. It made me smile because, I mean, it's high time. It's high time. I know the Labour Congress, when they were fighting for this increment, in Nigeria, generally, it came, I don't know, there was a bit of here and there, and then it was pegged at 77,000, right? And moving from, I think it was 30,000, and it wasn't good enough. I think it wasn't good enough because the cost of living is not a joke anymore, right? And you can literally stand and spend that money in a couple of minutes. And for those that work so hard, I feel like there's need for these increments. So seeing Governor Uzodinma, doing this. I really commend him. In fact, I think Governor Zodima has been in the news for the right reasons recently. I think last week he cancelled all the graduation ceremonies for kindergarten and primary school, I think. And then, because if I must, Governor, we hope to see more states in Nigeria, take this regard. Anyway, that's all the news I have for today. We're going to go on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll dive right into our topic for tonight. Don't go anywhere.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Thank you for staying tuned. And if you're just joining, tonight's discussion is centered on the Nigeria First policy. The question is, can consumers trust local brands to deliver quality, compared to our international counterparts, right? Let me hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation by sending an SMS or WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. Right, and my phone lines are open right now, so you can call on 070-2500-7749 42420. Let me hear what you have to say. All right. Moving on, I have a guest joining me for this conversation. His name is Mr. Christian Love. Mr. Christian, good evening. Can you hear me, Mr. Christian?
I can hear you.
All right, we'll go on a short break and fix that. And when we come back, we'll go into the topic. Jimmy.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Now, welcome back from that short break. The federal government, have said Nigeria can earn up to 3 trillion naira if we all patronize locally made brands. But now that begs the question, right? How many of us are ready to patronize Nigerian brands, given the fact that some of us can't trust the quality of what they give to us compared to our international brands, right? I'm also even going to, I like this policy, this Nigeria First policy that they want to come with now, because it's not just it's not just the masses, right? It also affects the presidents, everybody in the helm of affairs. Because the last I checked, the last cars that were bought, this administration bought, they bought international brands. And we have Nigerian brands, right, that make cars. For instance, we have Innocent. Why didn't they buy Innocent? That question has been ringing in my head. Anyway, I'm not going to be in this conversation by myself. I have a guest. His name is Mr. Christian Love. He's the co-founder, the Confident Black Woman. It's nice to have you, Mr. Christian. Can you hear me, sir?
Hear me?
Yes, I can now. Good evening, and thank you for joining me.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
So there's an echo on your end. I don't know if you can take that off. Turn off one of your systems so we can hear you properly, sir. Are you there? So while he does that, right, I also feel like this policy is a very bold projection, right? It's going to affect our economy. It's going to affect the industries. It's going to affect our daily choices, even as consumers. And just like the quote we read this evening from the DG of MAN, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Shegu said, if only the president and his cohorts really can drive cars that were made and assembled in Nigeria, it will be a very commendable thing. And I think I agree. I love this policy because it's going to help us. A lot of us, I think I'm guilty. It's very hard seeing anybody, right, going to buy Nigeria-made products. They will feel like, you don't want something durable, they will feel like you don't want something durable. But now, that's not supposed to be the case, right? We're supposed to be able to trust our own homemade goods. Let's see if Mr. Christian is here. Are you here, sir? Mr. Christian? All right. I think he's trying to reconnect. But now, moving on to the conversation, right? Remember, you are supposed to be a part of this conversation with me. So you can leave me a comment on YouTube, and I'll read it out here. You can also call us on any of our phone lines. But remember, we're talking about the Nigerian First policy. Can consumers trust local brands for quality? Okay? So I think the very first people I would like to talk to right now are the consumers. What would be the reaction, the consumer reactions? Because many of us, like I stated earlier, we prefer foreign goods over local ones. So first of all, how is the country now? How are these people supposed to give us that mind shift, give Nigerians the mind shift? Like I've earlier mentioned, right? We feel like Nigerian-made goods are not durable, right? And sad as it is, that's the reality. Sad as it is, that is what it is. Durability is a problem we've seen in Nigeria. Especially, I'm going to go towards the clothing lines. Well, the fashion guys are doing really good these days, but prior to now, it was really terrible. You buy clothes and the finishing is not so smooth, and then you're wondering, why can't we be excellent in this, right? So I think I love this conversation that these people are raising. Another thing I would want to, talk about is on the part of the manufacturers now. Do we think they actually have, what it takes to carry this weight? Because when you're telling Nigerians to patronize Nigerian-made, locally made goods, you're giving a challenge to these manufacturers. Can they actually carry this thing out? You know, it's one thing to pass all of these policies. It's another thing for us to, you know, be able to handle it. So this is like a dare in the faces of the manufacturers. Can they handle this task they've been given? Also now, how can SMEs and local entrepreneurs be better supported? You know, one problem most Nigerian businesses have is some of them claim, oh, we don't have any support whatsoever, financial, as SMEs, right? We don't have anybody supporting us and all of that. But, you know, beyond that, now we're looking at these policies. How are they supposed to get their, you know, get up to bar? How are they supposed to work around this? How are they supposed to get the support they need to actually meet, you know, this level of trust now that Nigeria is about to place on them, right? I think my guest is still trying to connect, but while we're doing that, we're still going to be having this conversation. So you see, it's beyond telling us that we can make 3 trillion naira. It's beyond that statement. It's not about the numbers. It's about choices, right? I am very particular about the consumers. How are you going to make us trust you in that regard? There's a lot of things going wrong in the nation as it is. So you are now the little assurance that we get from other brands. You want to now take it from us and tell us, we can, you know, we can trust Nigeria enough to give us this same quality. I don't know how we're about to achieve that, but I think it's a good step in the right direction. I don't know if you have Mr. Christian. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Great. Thank you for being here. I don't know what the network is doing, but anyway, moving on. You already had our topic, right? We're talking about the Nigeria First policy that the federal government is introducing to us. But now, we're talking about it from the angle of trust. Can the consumers trust the quality Nigeria is about to give? So I think my first question is, do you think this 3 trillion naira, you know, that they said we're going to gain from local patronage, do you think is realistic, really?
I think is an understatement. I think the right question to ask is not whether Nigerians can trust local brands. I think the right question to ask is whether we can consistently deliver for the people. What are the objectives of the Nigerian First policy? I mean, people need to understand that so that it's not just a soundbite. We are able to share our thoughts. They want to prioritize local content, stimulate economic growth, and reduce import dependency. Those are the 3 fulcrum upon which the Nigerian First policy stands. Nigerians are quality people. We have quality minds. We strive for the best at all times. We stretch the limits of competence and excellence globally, and we want to wear the best shirt. I mean, do the best things.
Yeah.
We're enterprising. We're driven. So Nigerian can trust local brands. We can, and the question is whether the government has not put the cart before the horse. 3 trillion naira is a lot of money, but it's, compared to our population, is not a lot of money on what can be made. So the question is, we have put the cart before the horse. You can't rubber stamp policies. Policy needs to be executed or initiated before execution by understanding the people. So it's not a legislative rubber stamp in terms of, okay, MDAs, ministry, department, and agencies of government are now going to be purchasing or patronizing Nigerian product. We already patronize Nigerian products. A lot of our fabrics, a lot of things are already being done by Nigerians. And so it is not the policy of government that will now suddenly make us change our behavior. So the question is, what is quality? We need to first define what quality is. And before we define what quality is, we need to know what produces quality. Now, all the global brands that we purchase or that we patronize globally, they have a benchmark that attracts naturally people. You know, once upon a time, the king of Dubai used to come to UCH. I mean, the king of Saudi Arabia used to come to UCH to do his medical checkup. Why? Because the best and the brightest, the most competent and the fittest are recruited into the public service. And we offer the best service in the world. And whenever you put sugar in any place, ant is going to find their way to it. You don't need to stretch, you don't need any legislation. Quality inspires, invites, and energizes people to purchase it without any form of coercion or legislation. So I said that to say this. Nigerians are quality people. We aspire for quality of life. We aspire for quality of education. We aspire for quality in every single thing that we do. So in order for these policies of government to be implemented, they need a framework that is awesome, that is holistic, that will inspire Nigerians without any legislation to be able to purchase what is made in Nigeria. Now, I read what the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, I mean, fantastic about what he said about if the Nigerian president can drive Nigerian car. That's not the question. Once upon a time, we used to do papers. I hope you know that all the papers that you used to print, they are imported. I hope all the paper, we import $500 million worth of papers annually because the companies in the industry has lost what we call tacit knowledge. Now, if you want to stimulate any industry, this is what you do. You need companies, you need products, you need the market. We have the market, 250 million people and growing. Right. And you need technology which we can scale it. What's a company? A company is an aggregate of skills and abilities that takes a product to the market. What's a product? A product is whatever gives joy or reduces pain. What's a market? A market is people who reference one another in making buy decisions. And what's technology? Technology is now what develop product at scale so that it is the same quality that you have in Toyota A that you will have in Toyota B. And you can see globally that sometimes they will recall cars because it did not meet the quality. Yes. Not that the people that purchased it are saying, come and take the car. No, based on quality assurance, they know that certain defects occur and they will recall their cars. So what I'm saying is the paper industry, for example, that we import $500 million, what happened? Because when a generation did not have a handshake with the next generation in terms of the skill sets, you are going to go back to square one in those industries. So we need to identify what are the critical industries that will ginger or that will fast track our economic growth. And we need to, when we do that, because when you open up an industry, you are going to stimulate other industry. Let me give you an example that I gave the last time when I was in your show. When South Korea wants to stimulate Toyota to produce cars, Toyota only produce car engine. Toyota doesn't produce all the cars, they just do the engines. 300 other companies are producing the lights, they are producing other components of the cars. So you need to create industries that are dependent on other industry. You need to create products that are dependent on one another so that a lot of people can come into that market. Look at what's happened to refinery, for example.
Let me come in here, Mr. Christian, right? I hear you, but I'm worried or concerned, not worried now. I'm concerned, does the manufacturing sector have the capability, you know, to carry this responsibility, especially if everybody starts buying locally made goods? Because now, you know, like I said earlier, we have people that they are always going to patronize global international brands as against Nigerian brands. So if this now gets implemented and everyone is compelled to, you know, look into local brands and patronize local brands, you think always going to patronize this Nigeria?
When you want to create, when you are asking people to purchase or to go into business and they need loan to be able to drive their business, and it's going to be 25%. In Nigeria, we have low capital and we
Mr. Christian? Okay, I think we have a bit of a network glitch. I think the reason I asked that question, you know, he keeps saying, oh, Nigeria, we have what it takes and all. But I know we have the target market, right? We have the numbers. But if I feel like that number is shared into 3 and maybe 2 are patronizing international brands, okay, because of the lack of trust for quality. So now that we are going to see this implementation and everyone is asked to, you know, patronize local brands, the concern I have is for the manufacturing sector, because right now there seems to not be maybe a lot of demand as there's going to be when this is finally implemented. So imagine, for instance, someone that produces clothes hangers, the plastic clothes hangers, for instance, right? Now you're making maybe 10 dozens right now. When this is implemented, best believe you're going to have to multiply that over and over. And now, if you are still struggling, because you see some of these hangers, they have very rough edges that can damage your clothes, right? Imagine now they don't have that much pressure. My question is, when this pressure eventually comes, would they have what it takes to? They didn't smoothing out the hangers right now. Is it when the pressure comes that they will now smoothing it out? So that's the challenge I have, right? Yes, it's good to patronize, it's going to boost the economy and all whatnot, but are we going to still get the exact quality? That's my concern. Are we going to get the exact durability? Are we going to get that quality? Because it's one thing to manufacture. People want to buy things that would last them. So that's why most people don't mind, you know, spending money, a lot of it, in both you shop online, the customs clearing and all of that, you know, shipping. People don't care about all of that, not because the bill is not a lot, but because they need something that will be durable. Something durable. Look at this instance I just gave about the hangers. Why would you, as a Nigerian, want to patronize such hangers that can rip your clothes off just because you are asked to patronize locally made? So you see, this whole thing begs a lot of questions. I think another thing I'd like to ask him, if he reconnects, is the issue of, you know, assuring us, the issue of quality assurance, right? These people, what part do they have to play in these things? Because, you know, there have to be a lot of build-up. There has to be a build-up to these things. We have to ensure, you know, monitor these producers, these manufacturers, right? And see the kind of quality they put out for us. before you now come and tell us, oh, patronize Nigerian first. You know, these things have to be done. Because if you don't fix it, Nigerians will not want to do that. We're going to go on a short break, and hopefully Mr. Christian reconnects when we come back.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back. We are still talking about the Nigerian First policy, and we are asking the question, if Nigerians now can trust the quality of Nigerian-made products if we're eventually compelled to buy locally made goods. And my guest is Mr. Christian Love, the co-founder of The Confident Black Woman. Mr. Christian, are you back with me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Thank you for staying tuned. Okay, so
No, I've been hearing you all this while.
Oh, we couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear you over here.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay.
What I was saying was the challenge is not with the manufacturing industry.
Okay.
The challenge is when you have high capital and when you have high capital, if you want to do any business, you need to be able to obtain loan to scale. Dangote Refinery had a lot of syndicates of banks that came together for it to become a reality. So the challenge is not the manufacturing industry or holding their feet to the fire. The challenge is we need to look at our financing policy to ensure that single-digit loan can be given to manufacturers, and then you can raise the standard of meeting the quality. China is the second largest economy in the world. When you get to China, you can do all the qualities of whichever quality that you need. Apple makes, until Trump came, Apple makes most of their phone. The only thing Apple makes in America is the patent, which is just $25. All the other components are made in China and Singapore, and the chips were made. They are made. Some of them are made in India. You know, so the sense of the policy is needs to be wholesome, needs to be a collective policy that is not just saying patronize Nigerian product. No, you got to stimulate the economy. You need to, the policy must be inclusive in tinkering with the current 25%, 25% when you want to loan money from the bank. So Nigerians love quality. Nigerians purchase quality in and out of Nigeria. And because the world is a global village, you can't even force us to buy anything locally. I mean, with the tip of a finger, with the touch of a finger, you can buy anything you want from the world. So nobody is going to really compel you. It is public servant that this policy is first driven towards. So that when they leave,
sorry to cut you, Mr. Christian. Sorry to cut you. You just mentioned the public servants. Now, that brings me to the question, right? How are we going to ensure that these policies are not hijacked, this particular policy, rather, is not hijacked by the elites, for personal gains?
Okay, so what I'm saying is it's not even a policy.
Okay.
This is not the first time they are going to talk about patronizing Nigerian goods. We're not young chaps. We're not. It's not a policy that is implemented in its true sense. Now, it's part of the sloganeering of government to say they are doing something. If you want a policy that is going to be implementable, you need to look at the entire value chain of the economy, the value chain of manufacturing, the value chain, the market, the spending power of people, the capacity. You need to stimulate the economy in such a way that you will not need any legislation to tell us to purchase what is quality. We are quality people. That's why anywhere in the world, Nigerians have the best brains. We produce the highest level. The best companies in the world have inputs from Nigerians. So we are quality people. When you do the right thing, it is natural to us to gravitate towards quality. That's what I'm trying to say. So you don't need a law to make us purchase quality, because anything that is less than quality, Nigerians naturally upgrade. We want to eat our mama put, but at the same time, we want to go to KFC. We want to enjoy ourselves. We want to touch base with home, but mama put, we want the quality ones. We thrive on quality as a nation. Anybody that is saying anything to the contrary is lying. The fact that the policies of government is not aligning with the desire, the aspiration, the will, the resilience, and the capacity of Nigerians does not mean, in fact, it is because Nigerians have quality that we still have a nation. Because Nigerians are overcoming the daily challenges that comes their way through what I call end of thinking capacity policy, ETC policy. Because when you do not look at things in an holistic manner, and you are not singing from the same hymn book, the Ministry of Finance is saying one thing, the Ministry of Trade and Investment is saying one thing, the Ministry of, you are not coordinated in such a way that policies are speaking to policies, then you are going to be able to galvanize the people. So my own take is we purchase quality globally or locally. That is who we are as Nigerians. We are driven by quality. We are inspired by quality. We want to wear quality. The person in the village has an aspiration to come to Lagos. That is a quest for quality. There's something better. There is a better life I can get. And the people in the village wants to also create industries to be able to bring their product to Lagos so that people can purchase. So we are naturally driven for quality. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's why I said the right question is, what policy should government do to naturally inspire Nigerians without legislation to purchase Nigerian products? That should be what we should be looking at. Not can consumer trust local brands to deliver quality. We can deliver quality in all ramifications. We can. There's
All
a
right.
Nigerian that is doing,
Okay, Mr. Christian.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you, but now, currently, Nigeria, we have a heavy dependence, right, on imports from those in the hem of affairs, right? We import tractors, we import cars, we import everything, right? So now, how can the government, balance this, promoting local goods and this heavy reliance we have on imports?
Okay, so in order for any economy to thrive, you need to increase your exports. Whenever people bring in, it's not wrong to import products. What is wrong is when they bring the cargo of importation, they are going back empty. So that's the challenge. It's not wrong to import products. The world is a global village. But in order to minimize, in order to balance, like if I will use your language, is to ensure that we facilitate trade transaction or trade deals or trade policies that ensures that raw materials are exchanged. You read all about the cocoa revolution when we were exporting cocoa and chocolate is being exported, exported back to us. And with those resources, we were able to shape the first republic, and we were able to deliver good governance in terms of education, quality education across board, at least in Southwest and in other parts of the nation. So what I'm saying, in essence, is you have to ask the right questions. Otherwise, you are going to be going around in circles. What government needs to do is to have a coherent policy that says if you want to stimulate the economy, you need single-digit loan. People cannot produce, they cannot manufacture when you are telling them to borrow at 25%. The biggest manufacturers in Nigerians are not Nigerians. I hope you know that. Why? Because they bring their money from single-digit economy. So Nigerian cannot compete with foreigners that are in Nigeria doing business.
Right.
Because single-digit economy cannot compete with double-digit loan. So what government needs to do is to sit down with the financial sector and to draw a value chain that connects town to GAN, so that from the universities, the people that are going to be produced, the products that are going to be produced, they are connected in such a way that everything that is required is feeding into one another. Yes.
All right, so let's come to SMEs, right? Local entrepreneurs that, they want to make their products better, but maybe they don't have the means. How can the country help them?
Okay, so you have to give kudos to Nigerian entrepreneurs already. The resilience is unbelievable. We go over whatever we need to do. Nigerian entrepreneurs are doing an amazing job in solving their personal problem. We do our borehole, we do our bar generator, we do every single thing to keep the body and soul together and to keep firing. Now, the government cannot pay lip service to the engine room of the economy, because the SMEs, they are the engine room of the economy. You can build a big refinery, you still need a filling station to be able to sell it. You can do a lot of stuff. You still need kiosk to get to the bottom of the pyramid. To get to the people, it is still those who are closest to people, which is SME. So the government the purpose of government is to create an enabling environment for citizens to thrive. They call it ease of doing business. And the primary ease of doing business is, number one, infrastructure. When we talk about infrastructure, people already thinking about big things. No, finance is an infrastructure. Law equals money. When a policy is tinkered in such a way that it is looking at the end result rather than knee-jerk reaction, rather than sloganeering, rather than, because everything they talked that was spoken about this Nigerian First policy is just a rebrand of what took place during PMB, during President Jonathan, during President Yar'Adua, during President Obasanjo. So there is nothing new in this policy. Nobody will be compelled to uphold the policy, including the people that made the policy. Otherwise, they should start patronizing Nigerian hospital. They should patronize Nigerian, everything Nigerian. It is not sustainable. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so just before I ask you my last question, I have this comment from YouTube. This person, Baraka Saleh, said, once upon a time, IBB gave all officers in the military Peugeot cars, brand new from Kaduna. Thank you, Baraka, for your input. Now, coming back to you, Mr. Christian, my final question will be, what is your call to both the government and the entrepreneurs, the manufacturers in Nigeria, in view of this policy?
And let government go back to the drawing board and invite or talk to people who know what to be done. For Nigerian entrepreneurs, I can only salute them for their courage in spite of the challenges that they face. I can only say kudos to them, because whether the government gets it right or not, we have an unbreakable spirit as a nation. We have an undying loyalty to our nation. We are incurable optimists in the reality of a Nigeria that works. And we are delivering that in every SMEs, in every school, in every barbing salon, in every market, you will see it on the street. You will see the energy that is being expressed everywhere, from the forgotten corners of the nation to the eyebrows of the nation. Nigerian entrepreneurs, they are the one. It is that spirit that is keeping us alive, that is even keeping the nation together. So I salute the Nigerian spirit and the Nigerian people, and I advise government that if they really want to solve the problem, they cannot put the cart before the horse. They need to have a coordinated framework that deals with manufacturing from the back end to the front end. And financial infrastructure, banks, is critical. They need to sit the manufacturing association down. They need to sit the SMEs down. They need to sit everybody down so that, and come up with a robust policy that is implementable in the immediate, short, medium, and long term. That's how we're going to fix our nation.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Christian Love, for your inputs. Mr. Christian is the co-founder of The Confident Black Woman. Thank you so much for being on the show. Now, tonight's conversation, you see, has shown us that the 3 trillion promise is not just about the numbers, it's about choices, right? Every bag of rice, every pair of shoes, every piece of furniture made here and bought here tells a bigger story about jobs created, industry sustained, and future secured. But let's be honest, patriotism alone will not keep Nigerians buying local. Quality must meet expectations. Prices must be fair, and policies must be enforced beyond speeches. And just like Mr. Christian said, the government have to put some things in place before even issuing these policies, right? And if we truly want a Nigeria where homegrown products drive our prosperity, then both government and citizens have to play their part. So next time you reach for an imported label, pause and ask yourself, could a Nigerian brand actually make this? Right? It's about supporting the Nigeria we choose to build. All right? Thank you so much for being on the show with me tonight. If you missed our quote for the day, here it is. He says it will be commendable to see the president driving a vehicle made and assembled in Nigeria. And this was said by Segun Ajayi Kadir, the DG of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. Join me same time tomorrow by 8 p.m. Bye-bye.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.